Welcome back to MCNN. I'm Rosaic, and this week we find ourselves evolving into Beta 1.7.3. Move aside, glitchy fences. Trapdoors and questionable redstone doors are now all the rage in base deco. Both Beat-Ups and Mumbo, who is filling in for Tango, set out to revolutionize the door industry to varying degrees of success. Mumgo initially attempts to do this with a complex piston system, soon reinforced with actual doors, but the local HOA disapproves of these changes and explodes them away. He then gets called in to help fix Beat-Ups' door, but Scar's explosive tendencies have a different idea of how to fix the door. Perhaps Scar wouldn't have gunpowder if the server jumped on the hot new trend of beds. Multiple groups attempted to sleep throughout the start of the session, but in true life series fashion, was unable to get the server to sleep together. Maybe this was for the best, as many people found themselves in some odd places as they got out of bed. At least they can look at their newly renovated bases as they decorate with the hottest blocks of the season, because around these parts, glowstone's all we need to keep things bright.
This week, a number of past life players decided to move their mining to the Nether to get snazzy new blocks to add to their builds. Grian, Pearl, and Martin get there first, and are reminded just how awful netherrack and glowstone look in this version. Pearl stays longer than the others to get soul sand, the one block she decides is worth the trip, only to get trapped when a gas takes out the portal as she's standing in it. Fortunately, she isn't trapped for long, as a quick chat message has Grian coming back through to relight it and bring her home. No one's getting trapped in the Nether for several seasons this time. It's the Rejects' turn next, and Skizz adds to the ghastly chorus with his own screams as fireballs make holes in the ground all around them. Meanwhile, Jimmy laments that it's going to take more than a decade for these guys to get happy. Turns out the Rejects and the Villies portals are now linked, so Grian and Pearl decide to lava trap their overworld portal. Pearl accidentally breaks theirs.
Oh, you ruined it!
I'm sorry!
Right as the Rejects are getting chased out by ghasts, desyncing them, leaving the Rejects in a completely different portal, far away from everyone's bases. Once back, everyone starts adding their unholy blocks to their bases. While the Villies and Rejects pile layers on top of their existing builds, Martin turns his netherrack into a Pokeball, opting both to go sideways rather than vertical, and to make something that actually works with that texture. And he says he's the builder. Back to you.
The Nether wasn't the only thing on fire this week, as the gluten guys realized there's more than just bread to bake. While resource intensive, they expand their menu to cake with an interesting marketing tactic. Impulse decided to go around wishing various server mates a happy birthday. This is effective to varying degrees, as is the birthday of none of the people he gives cakes to. He initially goes to Martin, who says while it's not his birthday, it's rumored to be Big B's. This leads Impulse to bring over a cake to the Rejects, who are dejected to find out Big B neglected to tell them it's his birthday. A bit of infighting and a Google search later reveals it is not in fact Big B's birthday, but he's not going to turn down free cake.
Like when you go to a restaurant and someone sends you a cake and they sing happy birthday, but it's really not your birthday, but you still eat the cake.
Are you saying it's not your birthday now?
Yes, it's not my birthday.
Oh, genuinely, you're messing
You're
with me.
messing with my brain.
Wait, I'm famous birthday in it. Give me a second.
What do you think I was going to say, no?
Give me 1 second.
This pastry puzzle was not the most confusing thing this week, as there was whatever Beat-Ups was doing. He starts out the session on a chaotic streak, helping his server mates with remodeling, after finding out he still doesn't have horizontal logs. Next week, Beat-Ups, next week. For unknown reasons, boats can be placed in walls, so a few worm their way into the wall of the Reject space. These eventually get removed from their walls, partially due to Scar getting rid of the walls themselves, also killing Beat-Ups in the process. Later on, a few more crash their way to the villain's lighthouse without its guiding light. He doesn't spend his entire episode doing this though, as he decided that the best resource Cabin Core can have is trust, and sets his team the task of fostering goodwill between the teams. Goodwill in this case apparently means doing slightly awkward improv in a legally distinct capturing device.
B-dubs, what are you in here for?
Leprosy.
They had to lighten the mood somehow after the various serious negotiations between the Lost Generation, Gluten Guys, and Big B. Wary of the villains in Cabin Core, the group set up the Corner Coalition to help keep an eye on them and protect each other. This was a calm change of pace after all the boogie kills this week. Wait, hold on. What do you mean boogie kills?
This week brought a surprise return. The Boogeyman curse is back for the first time since Limited Life. Albeit with a small change. Voluntary sacrifice is no longer cured. It seems that the powers that be are staging an intervention with Scott. With it, we got 3 Boogeymen: Scott, Scar, and Skajol. Scott tells Etho and B-dubs, but his fellow boogie cabin mate of Scar is just out of audible range at the time. Later, Etho goes boat pranking and brings his team along, and when Jimmy gets into a boat without a chest plate on, Scott takes the shot and kills his flower husband, Jimmy, leading to Joel killing him in revenge, leading to Etho killing Joel, despite not being a boogie, a triple betrayal in less than as many minutes. After returning to the base, Scar admits to his cabin boys that he is, in fact, also a boogie and was mildly upset that Scott didn't tell him earlier, which Scott hid, he was just standing too far away. Upon the realization that Scar still needs a kill, the cabin core quad stalk the rejects base, hoping to kill one of them again, but instead Etho blows himself up, and then Scar blows up B-dubs while trying for his first multi-kill. How quickly we forget Third Life and the ways of the desert, and Grian blaming 3 deaths on Scar at once. While all of this was happening, despite not being Boogeyman, Grian was getting the most kills, with a method he calls the square hole, that y'all will see in a bit.
Oh, those boogie kills. Well, a number of those could have been avoided if people were fully geared, which was a goal of the rejects this session. Seeing the success of Bigby, the group hit the mines, some more lucky than others. While Joel found enough diamonds to finish out his gear with some despair, Skiz was not so lucky. He goes most of his episode without finding any diamonds, and except for the diamonds given to him by Joel, refused any donations from other players. He does find some in the end, giving himself enough to finish his armor. Perhaps he should have asked Mango where the diamonds were hidden like Grian did. Revisiting a bit from last life, Mungo and Grian go mining to try and find diamonds. Tango tried to hide a few diamonds behind a block, but the fact they were already mined made it not feel the same to Grian. They then try doing it the original way, but forget that hitboxes are a thing, leading Grian to kill Mumbo. Wait, sorry, that says Tumbo, my mistake. This is not the most villainous thing Grian does this session. When not dealing with Pearl totally not being in her emo phase, he's busy setting up the base's defenses in hopes of causing some accidents. But for now, let's take you to the weather.
It makes Oak word. Oh wait, look! Where are you? And I'm so sorry!
Oh my.
Here she comes.
I cannot sleep. I cannot drink.
Oh.
I need somebody in the hallways.
Oh, this sick, strange darkness comes creeping on, so haunting every night.
This week, the villains have vastly evolved with their mischievous endeavors. However, whether or not this is due to the increased density of their traps or the heightened complexity and deviousness of them is left for a better evaluator than myself. We've all seen the iconic pressure plate, sand, and TNT combo, but when combined with a generous sprinkling of dummy plates on the front lawn of the villain's time-traveling tower, we can see that it still doesn't work in the slightest, having left GoodTimeWithScar and Rendog alive despite their absent-minded ambling on one of the most obvious traps the Life series has ever seen. Naturally, this results in our favorite Team Rocket impersonators doubling down on the obvious pressure plate purview, even if they now must efficiently excavate an extravagantly enormous amount of dirt and stone. Where does the victim go? Why, they go in the square hole. The Villies failed to kill with this trap multiple times, notable survivors being Smallishbeans and impulseSV. However, it did manage to take a life off of BOO and Skizzleman, doubling their last session's questionably legal kill count, and justifying my prediction that the villains will kill 16 people in Session 5.
And that's all for this week. With many of the players down at least one life, the next few weeks are sure to see the boundaries of alliances in the game tested. Speaking of lives, here are all of the deaths from this week. I've been Rosaic, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
That was I Miss You by Blink-182. Before that, we had Misery Business by Paramore. Before that, The Scene to Scene, It's an Arms Race by Fall Out Boy. And starting that set off, we had I'm Not Okay, I Promise by My Chemical Romance. You've been listening to WMCN, broadcasting here on the internet, bringing you all the jams you need to soundtrack your death games. We're on a bit of an emo roll today, and up next we've got another one of MCR's biggest hits.